warning. The warning just tells you that you need to focus and have your attention on the road and not be distracted by this machine. Like all tools are designed to help you. If you don't use a tool properly, it could also hurt you. In this case, we want to show you how this tool can help you out on the road and make you money at the same time. To clear the message, you hit OK. Okay. If you see right here, there's no hours of service that's being highlighted or vehicle inspection. That's usually telling you that there's no driver that's logged in. To log in, hit login.
Assured. Rollie is on the phone. Ask her speaking.
Hold on.
Hold on, Jeff.
Click driver ID. Right. Now, in order to highlight, you could just touch it. You know what I mean? Now, the way we have it set up is your driver ID is the first 3 letters of your last name and the first 2 letters of your first name. For example, mine would be RIVRO, but how do I bring it down? It's very simple. Up here next to the house is the keyboard. Touch on the keyboard. The keyboard is displays on the bottom. I'm going to enter my driver ID, which is RIVRO. I'm Rolando Rivera. So my password is the last 4 of my social, just like yours is. Once you've done that, you need to clear off the keyboard. Now, to clear off the keyboard, if you look at the bottom right hand corner, there's a keyboard again. If you touch it, it goes away. This gives you now the option to enter OK. And it's going to go through the process of logging you in. It may take a few seconds up to a minute. Since I haven't driven in a while, it'll probably take a while. It's going to ask me right there, performance monitoring. If I want to assign the 288 hours and 12 minutes of uses in this truck to you. Now, being that you're barely coming onto this truck, you don't want to accept that. You'll enter no. If you see right here, this screen has me as an active status. It'll show
login for driver was rejected due to a bad username or password. Any words entered or rule set, changes must be redone after logging in successfully.
You're not an active driver anymore?
I'm not an active driver anymore.
So we're going to have to use Joe's?
We'll use Joe's. So let's go back to the house. It says no active driver. Bring down the keyboard. Highlight it, and yours would be LAR.
Oh, that's wrong. Okay.
You could always backspace. If you enter anything there, it's like, oh, that's not. You can go backspace, just like you would in any keyboard. So it's LARJO. Then the last 4 of your social. Now hit OK. It'll go through all its stuff. Do you want a credit to all the hours and whatnot? You don't. You apply no. And there you are. You're active. You're Larjo, the time you logged in. Now, as soon as you log in, you have to keep in mind that this is going to send you to on duty. If you notice a DOT time, it's already taken a minute off of your drive time. Now, what this does in the upper right hand corner, well, let me take you to the hours of service. To get out of the screen, you can always hit home, which is the little house symbol. See how everything is now highlighted that pertains to driving. You hit hours of service.
You have 7 hours and 59 minutes of remaining drive time.
That tells you what you have available to drive before your 30-minute safety break. On your status, it will show you that you're on duty, that you don't have a reset in cycle. Means you don't qualify for one, or you can start one now. Hours to be gained are nothing. Hours to be gained in 2 days are nothing because you haven't driven anything because you actually were off for more than for the 34-hour reset when you were at home. Now, the button for remarks, if I hit remarks right here, a screen will pop up where I can enter what I'm doing now. In this case, we're going to put remark right here. Change remarks. I can put, bring down the keyboard. Training. I'm a bad speller. Training. On Qualcomm. And if you want to know how to spell Qualcomm, it's at the bottom right here. Qualcomm. Okay? Every single time you have a change of status, you need to show a remark. Right here, a good thing to put next to your remark would be where you're at, just like if you would on a logbook. Where on the top part, you enter what you're doing. If you put a line, you enter what you're doing and where you're at. So you'd put Hidalgo, Texas. The symbols button will get you a comma. Back to the fonts, you put Texas. You want to accept it. Okay. And now, if you know, we at the office will know where you're at, what you're doing at the time, and that's what needs to be done. Now the summary, going back to this, it tells you exactly what you're on. When you get off of the vehicle, which I'll explain how to change your status in a little bit, you can always see what you're doing, where you're at. You know what I mean? You know that you're on duty. So if I'm going to fuel, I'm going to remain on duty. And at this moment, I wanted a PTI, I would do a PTI because I'm on duty. Your next tab shows you your graphs, your summary. It says you have 7 hours, 55 minutes available before you have to take your 30-minute safety break. As you drive, this will go down. It also shows you a bar for your total available driving hours for today, which is 11. As you drive, this will go down. Once you take your 30-minute safety break, let's say you drive for 4 hours, you take your 30-minute safety break, then this number will show the extra 3 hours that it's taking you from here. It'll put it back on. It's also showing you your 14-hour on-duty clock. This is very important because as soon as you start rolling to go and pick up at a location, that's why we always have to make sure that the load is ready, and that's part of dispatch, and also the driver calling the customer and verifying if the load is actually ready. Because this clock starts counting down and there's no way to bring it back unless you take a 10-hour sleeper break, on duty, off duty, or sleeper berth. And it also counts down your 70 hours. How many you have when you're 70? Okay. The next tab is your graph. This right here tells you you've been off duty. And if you click on the small part right here, you can want to look at your remarks. And it tells you that's where you were on duty. Your remark 1, you were training on Qualcomm. and you're in Hidalgo, Texas. Once you want to close that up, you're done. A lot of times, don't be surprised if, you know, a DOT officer wants to take a look at it that way. Or that's the way we also look at it when it shows us on your remarks. Your day log just tells you a line by line what you've been doing since midnight of that day. So since midnight for 15 hours, 24 minutes, you're off duty. Since 15:24 for 7 minutes, you've been on duty. And it just gives you a little recap of that. Your 8 days, this will help you when you're driving. It gives you your recap information. So you know if you were driving, you can go back down to the 8th day and see, oh, and if those zeros was a 9, you can say, oh, I'm going to have 9 hours available to me tomorrow. Or the 3rd day, you know, up here you say, okay, well, I know in 2 days the status is telling me that I have, you know, 20 hours available, but I know I'm also picking up another 7 on the 3rd day, and you can help yourself that way. That's what you can do with your 8 day. The approved logs tab, well, basically it's telling you, hey, listen, you haven't really, with the computer saying we haven't really accepted your logs yet, but when you approve it, everything that we've done, like, it's always good to come in. Once you come in, you know that everything's good on it, you approve your logs. So when you approve your logs, you come in, approve your logs, go talk to safety, then go talk to dispatch. And then they'll be approved and we don't have to mess with it anymore. You know what I mean? This is another important tab. DOT will get the company and yourself on form and manner violations. So it's important to get the load information just as you would on the bottom of the of your log, where it asks you for bill of lading number, commodity, you know, where are you going to? That helps out. So the way you do that is you hit new load, load ID. Right there you can enter your trip number. Of course, you bring down your, and you can put, you know, 10:55. You're starting it today and you're going to end it you can move the arrows or actually enter it, you know, manually. I'm bringing this down. And it's not cooperating with me. Bill of lading number. You can enter, you know, whatever it is. And right here, what we would like you to do is put a slash and maybe put, you know, mixed produce. Okay. And of course your trailer number. Sometimes if you're going up to Guyman, it's a drop and hook, and you're gonna put trailer number 1 is the one you're gonna drop, trailer number 2 is the one that you picked up. Okay. For this case, I'm not gonna save it because I want you to enter your load information with the one that you have now. Okay. Those are all the tabs on your logs, and this is a piece that you're gonna be using a lot. Now let's go back to changing statuses. When you go, if you would, let's say at this moment, you're done doing your PTI, or you're done doing your fuel, or you're done checking in with the receiver. You'd want to change your duty status by hitting exactly what it says, change. And now the change status screen gives you options to go off duty, sleeper berth, driving, on duty, or off duty driving, which is in the case when you're, you know, when you're off duty and you need to go take care of something personal. Never use off duty driving to advance the load. Okay, that's not allowed. So you're gonna go off duty, and but how do you change it? you simply touch it. The green dot just went on to off duty. Don't forget to enter your remark. It's important that we enter them. Remark, off duty, you can, whatever, restroom break, and put, your city, Hidalgo. You can hit, okay if you want to. Or, there you go. And you'll see where it's going to put you. Once it does its thinking, now it's showing you off duty, the time you started, the time it's now, and of course you'll always have the last 34, next 34 hours to be gained and gained in the next 2 days. That will always be there, and it also calculates your mileage for the day. Okay. Now, if you want to change it and you want to go to sleeper, simply hit the change button again. Sleeper berth. Now, for instance, a lot of times you go in, you fuel, you go off duty, get your receipt, come back to the truck, and you're ready to go to sleep. Would you need to put another remark for your sleeper? No, because you're already there, right? Because on your logbook, when you're there, when you do that, you're showing that you're there and you didn't leave there, so you don't need another remark. So you can just click OK, and it'll put you on your sleeper. Don't do the mistake like most other drivers that they click it and they thought that they hit that OK button, and they go back to the sleeper and then they realize that they were on duty for 10 hours and they don't have any hours to run. Make sure by checking that you are in the sleeper, your status is sleeper, then go ahead and get your sleep. Because that's going to be the most, that's the biggest mistake, the biggest reason that you have to call safety and say, hey, I made an error. You know what I mean? When you get off to use the restroom and you put this thing on park, it will move you to on duty, so you do have to change your status from on duty to off duty, and if you do it within that minute that you stop, it won't count against you. Okay? The exceptions button. It has an availability for a 16-hour exception. What does that mean to you when I say exception? It means that if I'm stuck in severe weather, severe traffic, and I need to get to a safe haven, I will use the 16-hour exception, hit OK, and then it'll come to the office for approval. Okay? This is the back button, by the way. You want to get back to it.
You have 7 hours and 45 minutes of remaining drive time.
This thing talks to you all the time, and it will always tell you what you're doing. So if you want to change, you do off-duty driving, but that's how you change it. Always make sure that you hit that OK button and that it changes the duty status. Okay? Now, other features that this has. Do you have any questions so far as far as? Okay. Messages. It's important. Oh no, going back after hours of service, a vehicle inspection report. Touch on the vehicle inspection. It's telling you the last time the vehicle inspection was done here, but it's going to give you, there you go. That's the screen for the vehicle inspection. We've checked everything. Everything was good. Any defects? Yes or no. If there was a defect, you push yes, you touch yes, and then you can put, there was a battery that was down, or a wire, or the horn wasn't engaging. You know what I mean? Or you can click them off. Or you can hit there was no defects. If there weren't any defects, go to the next page. It's saying this is going to be your signature. So what you have to do is enter your truck number. 1001 and accept. I won't accept it in this instance because I'm using your live log and I can't go back and change a vehicle inspection. When it comes down to the trailer is also going to look the same, and it's going to be the same process, done, and that's it. Okay, and it'll give you a list of when you did your vehicle inspection. If you ever want to get to the hours of service, it tells you right here. You can touch that button and it'll throw you back into the hours
You
of
have
service.
7 hours and 43 minutes of remaining drive time.
Another important feature is the messaging. This is how you get your load information. If you see here, you have a message from today in the morning showing you what we got to do, and it's got the same AL number with the dashes, right? So your first one here is telling you where your pickup is at, Frontera Produce, and it gives you the pickup date. And if you scroll down, it gives you a phone number, gives you a pickup number. It's telling you what the reefer mode should be set at. It's telling you that we need to go about the bill of lading, or it'll give you a temperature. You keep on scrolling down, it'll tell you pickup trailer. In case we're going in Guyman, you'll see it right there. Pickup trailer 810. Okay, great. That's what I'm going to pick up. You keep on going down, it tells you load locks are required, and it tells you where your first stop's going to be. ALDI in Denton, Texas, the delivery date, and it gives you a phone number. At the way bottom here, Joe forgot to give you your trip number. Well, you got it on the manifest, okay? And that's how those are read. If you have multi-stop, it's going to tell you again. But if you, the only difference is going to be is that it's going to tell you Walmart store, in, so it's going to be in dashes, okay?
Go to the last message and go all the way to the bottom to see if the trip and trailer number's there, or should it have been in all of them?
It should be on the first one.
It should have been in the first one. Oh,
okay. Messaging. I also want you to do something. I want you to compose a message, and I want you to give me an e-call every day. Enter your load number. Should be your trip number. And I just want to see if it's actually going to work, see what it says. Would you like to send a message? Yes. Okay. Now you send it. That's an everyday call. Okay. There's also a free-form message you can send me if you need anything. Hey, I would need an advance. Normally these messages, we can read them during the day. We are working on getting messages sent over onto our smartphones so we can see them in an email version. It shows you your outbox. Like, see a driver here before, if it's got a check mark, that means, you know, it's been, you know, look, there's another driver is told pulling over in Junction, doing sleeper berth 10 hours, trying to understand these locks. You know what I mean? So, and that's, you know, the messaging is important, you know what I mean? Critical event reporting. If you get into an accident, major accident, is that right?
Major accident. If it's like a parking lot vendor, don't do it because it's not recordable with the police. They don't want to go out there.
Something that's a recordable accident.
Like a tow away, somebody's injured, you're injured, something like that.
Okay. Performance monitoring. This will tell you what you got going. Okay? So it'll tell you how long you've been idle, what you've been doing, it'll give you your top speed. Always use your cruise control. At every step of the way, use your cruise control when you can. If you're in top gear, use your cruise control. This truck gives you 1 extra mile per hour on the foot, and you notice it on your fuel mileage. There is a way you can get fuel bonuses. Take advantage of that and fatten up your paycheck. You know what I mean? Navigation. It's pretty accurate navigation. I've used it in the East Coast, and there's instances where I would rather take, one highway, but it's telling me to go the other one. But the machine is not going to drive your truck. You drive your truck, so you know how to get there. Use your map. This is more like a guide to follow along. And when you get in here, you can play with this navigation thing. You can put new destination, address, and let's pick something else. There you go. Robbinsville, New Jersey. Okay. And it changed. It'll calculate.
Good afternoon, sure. Yes.
Is that Chris?
Who's this? Who's this?
Okay. And once you start driving, it'll give you, can you go or not, and it'll tell you step by step on how to get there. And you can always get out of it by just coming out here. Now, to adjust settings,
He's actually on the other phone, on the other line right now.
there's 2 things that you can do here. You can adjust your volume if she's a little too loud for you. I like to shut her down a little bit.
I'm doing
Okay.
okay.
If you like to hear it loud, go ahead. Or you can do brightness. You can make it a little dimmer.